It's that card girl, and today we're going to be taking a look at Magic the Gathering's Marvel Superheroes Collector's Edition Doom Prevails Commander deck. And the gold on this box really does give that Collector's Edition feel for this Grixis deck. Besides the Commander's deck though, we are also going to be taking a look at the GameGenix 105 Premium Art Sleeves. And these ones are the Galactus token ones. And I really love the slide up hanger that they have on the box. The packaging for these sleeves is actually plastic free, which I think is a pretty awesome touch. We also have the GameGenix Squire 100 Plus XL convertible deck box. And this one is the Dr. Doom. And from the box alone, I can already tell that this deck box is gonna be super awesome. Hans and I haven't checked out anything from GameGenix before, but I'm really excited to take a look at these. Now, this Collector's Edition Commander deck, along with the sleeves and deck box it's going in, is actually Dawn from Games of the Vault's personal Commander deck. You can find the Commander decks for Marvel Superheroes, albeit not the Collector's Editions, available at Games of the Vault located in Angleton, Texas, along with tons of GameGenix products, including this deck box and the sleeves. Let's go ahead and get to looking at this Commander deck though. The front of the box does tell you that this is a blue, black, and red Commander deck, and you connive for power and drain life with this deck. And it, of course, also focuses on Marvel villains. Luckily, whenever Don gave us this Commander deck to open up for him and share with y'all, he let me know that he did not need the packaging back. And that's really good because I did a terrible job getting this easy open tab open. The first thing that we have in the box is this cardboard deck box with Loki on one side and Dr. Doom on the other. It has that background comic book paneling that I'm really enjoying in this set. And I also like the little dip it has on the front that makes this deck box easier to open. I was going to collapse this deck box back down, but it's not as easy to break it apart as it was to put together, which I think is probably a good thing for the deck box. Next up, we have this paper insert that gives you some information about the deck itself. And it lets you know on the back why Dr. Doom and Loki are blue, black, and red, which I think is pretty nifty. I'm just gonna read it since I can't say it better than the professionals did. Dr. Doom's mastery of science and sorcery aligns with blue mana, though his rage is very red and his monumental egotism and thirst for power are associated with black. Loki's blue alignment comes from his mastery of illusions, while his callous pursuit of revenge is both red and black aligned. It's pretty cool to know why they picked the colors they did for these two commanders that you can use in this deck. And speaking of this deck, it's time to go ahead and take a look at it. And on the very front, we have our borderless Surge Foil face commander card, Dr. Doom, King of Latveria. And behind it, there are 99 additional Surge Foil cards plus our tokens, and 29 of those cards are new to Magic. But let's go ahead and start taking a closer look at some of these cards. And guys, I'm just gonna say right off rip that the Surge Foiling on these looks so cool. I definitely understand why this Surge Foil treatment is for the Collector's Edition of the Commander deck. And well, let's go ahead and get it into its nice GameGenix sleeve. This entire deck is going to be going into these sleeves, and I think it's going to make it look super cool. And I'm just sleeving this Dr. Doom, but Hans is going to be off camera furiously sleeving the rest of these up because whenever Dawn came up with the idea for us to open this Collector's Edition Commander deck and show you how all of the cards are Surge Foil, and then whenever he gave us the sleeves in the deck box to show those off and talk about those as well so we could finally get our hands on some GameGenix items, it was kind of implied that the price that we were paying to make this video for you was sleeving up his deck for him. And honestly, Hans and I are definitely not complaining about that one bit. I would gladly sleeve this whole deck up once more just to be able to show you how awesome this Collector's Edition Commander deck is. And yes guys, once again, this entire video's idea was Don's idea. And that is one of the reasons why we absolutely love Don and everybody at Games of the Vault located in Angleton, Texas. He had us sleeve up his deck, yeah, but in exchange, we're getting to show you this awesome deck along with checking out some sleeves and a cool deck box, but we'll circle back to those later. And speaking of circling back to things, before I got a bit distracted, I did say we were going to talk about Dr. Doom, King of Latveria, who is one of the 2 intended commanders for this deck. Dr. Doom is 1 colorless energy, 1 blue, 1 black, and 1 red. He's a 3/3, and he makes it to where each of your opponent loses 2 life when you discard at least 1 land. And on top of that, at the start of combat on your turn, you get to pick 1 villain to get menaced through the end of your turn, and then it connives. Since Dr. Doom is a legendary creature human noble villain, he can be that villain if you want. Conniving is a big part in this deck. The way conniving works is you draw a card and then discard a card. And if it's a non-land you discard, the conniving creature gets a +1/+1 counter. Let's go ahead and take a moment to talk some numbers for this deck. This deck is made up of 32 creatures, 6 enchantments, 12 artifacts, 5 instants, 8 sorceries, and 37 lands. And of those 37 lands, 4 are islands, 6 are swamps, and 5 are mountains. And since this is the Collector's Edition Commander deck, that means all 15 of those basic lands are going to be full art Surge foils. But we'll get to those in a little bit. Besides those cards making up the main deck, you have 3 villain robot villain tokens, 3 villain shapeshifter tokens, 2 8-villain copy tokens, and 2 rogue treasure tokens. And again, those are all Surge foil. Now, the other commander option for this deck is Loki the Deceiver, a legendary creature, of course, who's a god sorcerer villain. He is a 4/4 and costs 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 black, and 1 red. When this Loki attacks, you create a tapped and attacking token copy of another villain you control that is an illusion alongside its other types, and it's not a legendary. It's sacrificed at the beginning of the next end step. Oh yeah, and you get to draw a card when at least 1 villain you control does combat damage to a player. I looked through all of these cards, of course, as I was unboxing this, but also afterwards, and took a little bit of time to read what they do. And I just wanted to point out and talk about some of the ones that I thought worked really nicely for this deck. And I'm gonna be honest, they might not be cards that other people are talking about. I will go ahead and preface this by saying that I only am going to be talking about different creatures, and I'm not going to be talking about sorceries or instants or lands. I want to start talking about Ironmonger Sadistic Tycoon, who is flying and has you putting 1/1 counters on all your villains every time one of your creature connives. And like I said, this deck, really big on conniving. Then there's Ultron Unlimited, a 2/2 for 1 colorless, 1 blue, and 1 black, and he connives when he attacks, is flying, and lets you pay 1 whenever one of the creatures you control connives to create a 2/2 colorless robot villain artifact creature token. And there's the Squadron Sinister, a 5/5 for 7 that gives the rest of the villains you control +2/+2, flying, and haste. Baron Strucker Hydra Overlord makes villain spells cost 1 less. Kang Temporal Tyrant is a 3/3 for 4 who connives when he attacks and makes it where when you draw your second card for your turn, your opponent loses a life and you gain 1. Madam Hydra gives you a 2/1 black villain token with menace every time you cast a villain spell. Tombstone Career Criminal gets you a villain out of your graveyard into your hand when he enters and makes villain spells cost 1 less. And then there's Prowler Clawed Thief, who has menace and connives when another villain you control enters. There are tons of other awesome cards in this deck, but those are just a few that really kind of stood out to me and seemed like ones that I'd really enjoy playing. Even though, quite honestly, black and red are two of my least favorite colors in Magic. Now though, I'm going to get back to talking some more numbers and talk about the mana cost breakdown for this deck. In this deck, you have 4 1 costs, 9 2 costs, 22 3 costs, 15 4 costs, 4 5 costs, 4 6 costs, 3 7 costs, 1 8 cost, and 1 9 cost. I mean, it is a pre-constructed deck, so that mana breakdown is really well dispersed, I think. Now, I know that this is a Magic the Gathering video, but if you don't know, we actually track our subscribers a bit differently than most channels. We look at them in terms of the National Pokédex, and we have been looking forward to completing Generation 3 for a bit now. And the last Pokemon for Generation 3 is Deoxys with the National Pokédex number of 386. And guys, we have surpassed 386 subscribers. We have caught all of our Generation 3 Pokemon, and so we're gonna celebrate with another giveaway. This giveaway, like all of our giveaways, is a subscriber-only giveaway, so if you're interested in entering, make sure that you have subscribed. We're going to be giving away an Ascended Heroes booster bundle, and it's going to be ribbon ship style. Entries are open through July 29th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. PST, and we're going to be announcing the winner, who will be chosen via Duck Race on July 31st, 2026. And after we find out who's winning that Ascended Heroes booster bundle, we're going to go ahead and rip it open to find out what awesome cards our winner gets. All of the contents of the Ascended Heroes booster bundle will be sent out to the winner, including the box that the booster bundle comes in. I want to give a huge thank you to all of our subscribers and everybody who has helped us completed our first 3 generations of Pokemon. Hans and I thought it was going to be a little bit longer before we got past 386, but y'all have surprised us. If you're interested in entering this giveaway, there is the link to the giveaway form down in the description, and it's also over on our post tab. And speaking of Pokemon and our post tabs, if you head over there, can you scroll down a little bit and vote in the poll that we have going on? We are trying to decide who is better, Regice, Registeel, or Regirock. And guys, 2 of them are tied right now, and I am really hoping that we have a clear winner. So vote in that while you're over on our post tabs entering the giveaway. Here is your reminder that we put out new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays with shorts on Sundays. We focus mainly on Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, One Piece, Lorcana, and Gundam. Make sure you're following us over on Instagram if you haven't already. One day we will be more active on Instagram. There's a link for it down in our description. And speaking of links in the description, there's a link to our Discord channel down there as well. Alrighty guys, it is the moment that I have been waiting for. We have finally hit all of our Surge Foil Full Art Basic land cards, and I am ecstatic. There's actually a couple of these that I hadn't seen before, and so this was really awesome getting to see them in Surge Foil for the first time in person. I've made it pretty clear that I am a big fan of the Full Art Basic lands in Magic, but let me know down in the description which of these ones is your favorite, because I think it's pretty cool that the Superhero set is doing City Calm and City Chaos lands for both the Basic and the Full Art Basics. We had an even number of Island and Swamps, so we got an even number of Calm and Chaoses. And I think it's kind of interesting that for the Mountain, they did an extra Chaos City land, and it's a villain-themed deck. I really hope that somebody actually thought that out and it wasn't just kind of random. But that is the last of our 100 cards for our deck. Now we have our Surge Foil tokens. And there There really is just something about a token being surge foil that really amuses me. I know I said it way back in the beginning, but that's been quite a few minutes ago. So we have 3 villain and robot villain tokens, 3 villain and shapeshifter tokens, 2 ape villain and copy tokens, and 2 rogue and treasure tokens. I'm not gonna lie, I think that the rogue and treasure token is by far my favorite in the surge foil. And I have said this before, and I'm going to say it once more, because at the back of our deck, we have this card that has popular Magic formats and what to do on your turn. Guys, if you're getting a collector's edition commander deck, I really don't think you need that. We've made it completely through everything that came in that collector's edition commander deck though, so now it's time to take a look at our Gamegenic Squire 100 Plus XL convertible deck box. Dr. Doom edition, of course. This pull tab for the box is one of my favorite things ever. I really think that everything that has a pull tab should be a pull tab like that, because I can actually manage to function that without making a fool of myself. But once we get our deck box out, it comes wrapped up in this cardboard, which I think is a super nice touch, quite honestly. They really make this seem like a superior product. But now that we have that cardboard off, we have our deck box. And this thing looks so awesome. And the outside of this is something called a refractive fiber surface. And guys, it feels super awesome and has great texturing and phenomenal print quality. The tissue paper between the 2 parts of this deck box is really a cool touch. And they brag about using strong magnets, and they almost defeated me with them. This deck box will definitely keep your deck secure during transport. The inside itself is made of microfiber, and I could not help but feel it. And I really like the silver touches on the inside as well. The cover can attach to the bottom of the box and can also be used to tilt the deck box, which is kind of neat. But I didn't want to make you watch me fight with magnets again to get it off. I love the silica gel touch, and I was really surprised by this token creature soldier that they had inside of it. I was half tempted to keep this token card, but we sent it back to Don with the rest of his deck. I will say that I was definitely keeping in mind the entire time I was doing stuff with this that it was Don's personal products. And so I was being a bit gentler than I would have been if it was mine. So I will say that if this was my deck box, I probably would have done a bit of a better job fighting the magnets. But it's always a little more scary when it's not yours. The entire time that I have been going through this deck and showing this deck box off, Hans has been off camera furiously sleeving these cards in those awesome Gamegenic premium art sleeves. Unfortunately though, he could not keep up with me, so we're going to put what we have sleeved inside this deck box and show the fact that this deck box holds over 100 double sleeved cards, even if you're using Gamegenic's extra thick inner sleeves. And I will also state that these sleeves are a bit slippery, but I think that that's going to make shuffling an absolute breeze. Let's go ahead and get what we have sleeved of this deck tucked into its awesome looking deck box. And I want to give a huge thank you once again to Don, located at Games of the Vault, for letting us open up his personal collector's edition commander deck to share with y'all. And also for letting us check out these awesome Gamegenic products. Make sure that if you're in the area and you want some awesome sleeves or deck boxes, or a non-collector's edition Marvel superhero commander deck, or really any other set's commander deck, check out Games of the Vault, located in Angleton, Texas. We have all of his information down in the description, so you can check them out in person, have their address, or you can even check them out online. Don and everybody over at Games of the Vault is super awesome, very friendly, and very helpful. And I'm not gonna lie guys, Don is kind of one of the reasons that our channel has taken off as much as it has recently. Now, I have been talking entirely too much, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say, like, comment, subscribe, and tell your favorite collector about us. That Card Girl out!